Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Donor Centric Approach. This podcast is brought to you by MRP Donor Development, where we keep our donors at the center of everything we do, and by our friends and sponsors at Stellar Web Systems, the nonprofit tech solution. As always, I am your host, Orlando Barros. And today I want to walk you through something that's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save you a lot of energy. And of course, is going to save you a lot of stress. Not just in the actual raising of the funds for you and your organization, but also in how you lead your entire development effort. Today's topic for this episode is how to build a 90-day fundraising plan that actually works. Crazy, right? They exist, and we're going to be talking about them today. So if you've ever felt like your fundraising strategy is reactive instead of proactive, like you're always and constantly chasing deadlines and scrambling to write your last minute appeals or submit grant applications, or running on a cycle of, oh shoot, we need to raise money again, then this is the episode that you've been waiting for. Because here is the thing, right? Fundraising does not have to be chaotic. I know that oftentimes that's exactly the way that it feels, but it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to feel like a bunch of guesswork, like you're just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks, right? What I'm talking about is with a simple quarterly plan, you can move from reacting to leading, right? From surviving to strategizing. Don't you feel like the stress by my just saying that is just leaving your body a little bit, right? So if that's the case, let's talk about how, and let's dive right in. Let's talk about how and why a quarterly plan actually works. So quarterly planning is essential because they do the opposite of what we do most of the time. See, most of the time, a lot of the fundraising plans out there fail because they're either too vague, they're just trying to raise more money for the sake of raising money. Well, if that's what it feels like, right? They're maybe too ambitious, right? And we've talked about this in previous episodes. 30 pages of goals that no one is ever going to read. And by no one, I mean you. You write down all these extra pages of all the things you want to accomplish. You're never going to get back to them, let alone your donors or your staff, right? Or just as bad, too short term, right? Let's just get through this month and see what happens then, right? Quarterly planning actually hits that sweet spot because it gives you enough time to actually make progress, to see some of the progress that is being made, which actually leads to B, having clear checkpoints for evaluation. If things are working, let's continue to do some of the right things. If they're not, let's pivot and adjust accordingly, which in turn turns into flexibility, right? To adjust adequately according to the results that have been happening over the last couple of months and that you've been able to check and evaluate against your goals, right? So that quarterly planning really, it's like that best practice to go forward. And if that's something that you're interested in, Well, let's talk about the 4 pillars of what a good 90-day fundraising plan has. And we help a lot of our clients with this, and we implement them quite often. And when I talk about these plans, when we build these plans together, I just don't simply ask, what do you want to raise? Or like, what amount is it that you want to raise this quarter? I actually ask, listen, what are some of the activities that you do that are actually in your mission that are actually going to move the needle, that are going to get people to move at a higher pace and give you bigger gifts? To answer those questions, here's the structure that we use. It's 4 buckets. And think of them, this is the analogy that I like to use, as the 4 legs of a table, right? Leg number 1, stewardship. The question that leads us to the conversation around stewardship is the following. What will you do this quarter to thank and deepen relationships with your current donors? Again, your current donors are gold. They're going to be the key to sustainability, but most importantly, to major giving down the line. So what are you doing to thank them this quarter? What are you doing to stay on top of mind, to continue to cement that trust and build those relationships? Is it thank you calls? Is it handwritten notes? Is it the good old behind the scenes update? Is it telling them more of the stories of the lives that your mission's changing? Is it an event, an exclusive event just for them? Is it a combination of all these, right? You get to decide, but you need to be concrete. So what are you doing this quarter, again, to thank your donors and deepen the relationships that you already have? Leg number 2, outreach. You've taken care of, in leg 1, of your current donors. Then in your second leg, outreach, the question is, how will you connect with new donors, or how will you re-engage lapsed donors? Is it going to a local event and speaking, giving a talk? Is it going to a conference to sponsor an event? Is it asking your current donors for referral asks, right? Is it doing some sort of lead generating content through social media? Is it going to your donors and, asking them specific questions via surveys? How are you reaching out to people that are going to lead you to new gifts, new money to your organization, which in turn will lead to new relationships with more people? Leg number 3, messaging. We talk about this all the time. This is key in your fundraising and development efforts. What is the core story or theme for this quarter? What is that one story that is so impactful, that is so powerful, that you're going to come back to time and time again? Or if there are many stories like that, I'm sure there are many for your organization, what is that theme of this season that you're going to go back to time and time again? Is it the given season of the end of the year, right? October, November, December. Is it your summer campaign through June, July, August, right? Is it a story arc for emails that culminate in your spring fundraising gathering or an intimate event, right? What is that core story? What is that core theme that is going to envelope the entire quarter? What is it for you and your organization? And then last but not least, the fourth leg of this 90-day plan, what strategic relationships or conversations will you, as the leader of the organization, prioritize this quarter? Who are those top givers or those top prospects that you are going to have one-on-ones with this quarter? Who are those top candidates for your board that you need to meet with this quarter to bring into your board or onto your board? Who are those board members who have committed to a significant gift to your organization that have not done so yet, that you need to reach out to and meet with this quarter? Is there a key organization that you partner with that leads to more gives and more meaningful relationships that you need to touch base and reach out to this quarter? What strategic relationships are you prioritizing as the leader of your mission this quarter? Stewardship, outreach, messaging, leadership. When these four legs of a table are in balance, your fundraising strategies, your development efforts are both relational and strategic. They are proactive instead of reactive, right? And they really put you in a position of control, of leadership, as opposed to a position of chaos where you don't know what's next. So with that in mind, what does a simple quarterly plan actually look like for any given organization? Let's just say it's Q3 right now. Here's what the four legs of this 90-day plan look like. So let's start with stewardship. This quarter, I will send 10 personalized thank you notes or make 10 individual and personalized thank you calls each month. Outreach. This quarter, I will host one special event, one meaningful, intimate gathering with donors and follow up with every single attendee afterwards. Messaging. Our summer campaign on keeping hope alive, it's starting up, right? And we're going to do that with 2 emails and 1 mailed letter appeal. And the theme is keeping hope alive. And then lastly, leadership. This quarter, I'm going to have 3 meetings with high impact and high capacity donors. And on top of that, I'm going to meet with 1 new board prospect and have an in-depth conversation as to what it could look like for them to serve on our board. That's it. That is it. If it sounds too simple, that's because that's on purpose. Simple does not mean easy. It's not fancy either. Simple in this case actually means clear. Because again, clarity creates unity, both for you as a leader and your staff and your board, but with your team and your donors. Now, when your team sees this in front of them, they know exactly what to focus on this quarter. When your board sees this, they understand exactly how they can help. But most importantly, when you, as the leader, when you see this, the wondering, the guesswork actually stops. You're going to go from, are we doing enough? To actually saying, are we doing the right things? And again, doesn't that just feel better, lighter, like it's actually attainable? And that's on purpose. It should feel like that to you. So what can you do this very week to get to that point, to establish that 90-day plan for you and your organization? Here's what I would do if I were in your shoes. You don't have to get fancy. Grab a whiteboard or just your notebook. And if you want to share with people, just write up a Google Doc, right? Draw out or write out these 4 pillars, right? Make a table if it's a Google Doc with your 4 pillars: stewardship, outreach, messaging, leadership. And then after that, under each one of them, under each one of those pillars, list 2 to 3 goals or activities that you want to accomplish over the next 90 days. Now, when you're doing this, it's going to be super helpful for you to actually be as honest as possible about your capacity to get these things done. So my recommendation when you're filling these out is to keep it simple. I know that it sounds a little bit like I'm dumbing it down. I am not. I'm trying to get you to be in a successful place, especially if everything feels like chaos, and especially if you've never done something like this before. You've created the doc or you've created the image on your whiteboard. You've put together the goals and the activities under each pillar. Now share that plan that you just created with someone you trust. It could be one of your team members. It could be one of your board members or a couple of them. If you have like a fundraising coach or a business coach, share with them. The point is to actually make it real, to not just leave it out there on the ether or just in your imagination. Actually make it real. Reach out to somebody and say, hey, here's what I want to do over the next 90 days. What do you think? And once you get their feedback, put on your calendar the next 3 check-in points, 1 a month. And use those check-in points for you and the person that you're sharing these goals with. Use those check-in points to review. Have you done what you actually said you were going to do? If things are not working, how can we actually make them work? Where do we turn or how do we shift so that our plan actually works? And then refocus. Once you know the strategy, and if you have to change it, just simply take that time, those check-in times to go, okay, here's how we're going to refocus. And here's how we're going to actually attack this goal now. Again, you don't need a 12-month strategic plan to start moving forward. I'm not saying that annual strategic plans are bad. What I'm saying is that if things feel chaotic, especially now, all you need is clarity as to what your next quarter can look like. What are you doing over the next 3 months? Because here's the gist of it all. When you plan ahead, even if it's just as little as 90 days at a time, what you're truly doing is that you're creating space for yourself to be a better leader, space for yourself and for your team, your staff, and your board members to serve your donors better and to serve those who your mission serves even better. But most importantly, when you plan ahead, you create that space to be able to raise more money and more support with a lot less stress. And ultimately, that's the place that we want to be in. Does that make sense? If this episode has resonated with you and has helped you realizing what to do over the next 3 months, I want to just humbly ask you and encourage you to subscribe. And if you've subscribed already, just leave a review or a rating. It helps us immensely, but really what it does is it helps other people like you leading your organizations, your nonprofits, and your ministries find this podcast and find this resource that we put so much time and effort into creating for you. If this has really resonated with you and you find yourself wanting help around building the 90-day plan that works for you specifically, for your ministry or for your nonprofit, I would be honored to walk you through it and talk with you and see if we can be a great fit for you. If that feels like it's you, just simply reach out or grab a time on my calendar. You can go to mrpdonordev.com, mrpdonordev.com. Check out our website. Our Calendly link is going to be there. We're also going to leave our Calendly link on the notes for this episode so that you can easily access it there and try to find a time with us. As always, I am incredibly honored and grateful for every single one of you and for your continued support. And I'm just so humble that you continue to tune in each and every week. Thank you so much for listening to the show. See you next time on the Donor Centric Approach. Remember to keep your donors at the center of everything that you do, and you will see results. God bless you. You're the best.